Canelo, there's a lot of articles and social media news floating around saying that you could potentially be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for a main fight. Any truth to that?
No, I'm working in other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet. So maybe in January we're gonna start doing that.
Where do things stand with Turkey? Turkey said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middlemen, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Anything else for Chula Vista?
No, thank you everybody from Chula Vista. Thank you for your.
The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We're not talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkaraj know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp? When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
in camp, training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February.
Canelo, there are numerous articles on social media news that suggest you might be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for M. Anyhow, I'm currently working on other projects and enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing just yet, so perhaps in January we should start doing that. How is the situation with Turkey? Turkey stated he would like to communicate with you directly without the need for a middleman.
What's up, fight fans? Some breaking news. This guy, Julius Julianis, who's an ESPN Knockouts reporter, is reporting that the fight isn't only about to be announced, but the contracts are signed between none other than Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. In Julianis' report, he claims that this fight has been signed, sealed, delivered, and it's going down this September in Las Vegas. We know Canelo was in London for the Ring Magazine Awards with Turki Al-Sheikh, seemingly shaking hands as business partners. And just today, as a few hours ago, Bud Crawford landed in London and was seen with Turki Al-Sheikh this September. It's official. What are your thoughts? This headline is all the details the Ring Magazine put out about 2 hours ago. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford fight is up. Guys, are they just messing with us for real? Because this is 48 hours removed from them reporting the location. First ever stadium fight, Allegiant Stadium. Even though the fight was 7 months away in September, this in everybody's eyes was going on. And then all of a sudden, the Ring Magazine, Turki Al-Sheikh, releases this with no other details. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford in September is off.
I never turn down a business, so if it's a business for me, I'm willing to talk about anything else with Chula Vista. No, thank you, everyone from Chula V. The possibility of a fight between you and Terence Crawford is one of the biggest in boxing, and we haven't discussed it yet. We know each other, and we want to see what happened. When do you want to leave next? I know you're in London tonight, and I know you'll be in a camp in March. All right, so at the start of February or March, there will be a big development in the boxing world. Canelo Alvarez.
Right, let's talk Canelo Crawford, Jake Paul again. Let's try and give a timeline of events. So on Tuesday, Ring Magazine confirmed that Canelo Crawford was on for September 13th, Raiders Stadium. That's what we've got on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we start hearing whispers of Jake Paul. It sounded crazy at the time. I did a video on it. I said that's impossible. But then those whispers became louder and louder and louder. On Thursday, Ring Magazine reported that Canelo Crawford was off. Thursday evening, so just after me and G-Man had filmed, we got reports that Jake Paul versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Jake Paul, was very much a real thing and was close to being signed off, and that would have happened on Netflix. About 2 hours later, we got confirmation that Canelo versus Jake Paul is now not a thing and is off, and that Canelo has signed a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, and Turkey went on social media talking about he's the lion and don't mess with the lion and things like that, which I thought was quite funny. Canelo versus Crawford is now back on, and that will happen in September. Canelo versus Jake Paul is now off and won't happen for at least another couple of years. Yeah, I think that's
and Terence Crawford have formally decided to fight each other in a super middleweight PA against Nevada in September 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. This news has caused a great deal of excitement among boxing fans because it pits two of the sport's friendliest fighters against one another. What's up, fight fans? According to ESPN knockout reporter Julius Giuliani, Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez have signed contracts.
This fucking YouTuber. I just fight real fighters.
Time to expose them. So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right. Claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th. Claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch. The truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is these sports-washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check. Disloyal. And you were begging to do this fight on pay-per-view. But I have loyalty. Loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Remember you told my team that your daughter came home and asked if you were fighting Jake Paul? She was all excited. You said that was the first time your daughter's ever asked you about a fight. And you're screwing over all your Mexican fans by doing your fights in Saudi. It just shows what type of person you are. And I promise you one thing, Canelo. Any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. So go fuck off to your boss, you Ring Magazine employee, you pink and orange bitch. And oh, fix that herpy on your lip, you dirty puta.
We know that Canelo and Turkey Alesk appear to shake hands as business partners while in London for the Ring Magazine Awards. And just hours earlier, Bud Crawford arrived in London and was spotted with Turkey Alesk this September. What do you think this headline says? The fight is not just about being publicized, according to Juliana's report. It has been signed, sealed, and delivered, and it will take place in Las Vegas in September.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35, 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
A zine, The Ring, was issued over 2 hours ago. This is what happened 48 hours after they revealed the location of the first ever stadium fight, which took place at Allegiant Stadium in September, 7 months ago. Everyone was watching, and then the Ring magazine published an article about it. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford's fight is off, guys. Are they really playing us? Alesk Turkey.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Crawford. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bill. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was good for the 11-0 Madrimov, who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up, okay? And Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it up.
Abruptly shared this without giving any other information. In January 2025, the contract for this well-known fight was signed. Canelo Alvarez is the undisputed super middleweight champion with 39 wins by knockout against Tan, 2 losses, and 2 draws. He is paving the way for a historic matchup with Bud Crawford in September.
they're like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo had, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another. You know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out.
The current undisputed welterweight champion has an undefeated record of 41 victories and 31 knockouts. He is moving up to the super middleweight class with the intention of further solidifying his reputation by facing Alvarez. All right, let's talk. Crawford.
Too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, you know, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
Yeah.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, you know, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish. From 140, 147, now 154. That's even great for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154. He can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and you know, at that point, it's more of a big fight, you know, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Bivol again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up.
Canelo let's try to provide a timeline of events. Jake Paul. On Tuesday, Ring Magazine confirmed that Canelo Crawford was scheduled to perform at Raider Stadium on September 13th. On Wednesday, we began to hear rumors about Jake Paul. At the time I made a video about it, I said it was impossible, but then the rumors got louder and louder. On Thursday, Ring Magazine reported that Canelo Crawford was off. Therefore, shortly after Jade and I finished filming, we received rumors that Jake Paul versus Canelo or Canelo versus Jake Paul was very much a real thing and was almost finalized.